Hey everyone, this is Jake, and today we are going to be reviewing this game called the Gacha Frontline Neural Cloud, and this game is going to be getting global server very soon, next week indeed. So I thought it would be a good time for me to post this video. So we'll jump in, talk about many different systems within this game. Some of the core system, I think I'd rather have a separate videos to dive in and talk more about it. So we'll just wait until then, but after watching this video, I hope you have very good understanding what the game offers. So let's jump into video and talk about Gacha Frontline Neural Cloud. So let's talk about story and setting of this game. So game is set in the future, where it's set in year 2060 and is post World War III settings, and a lot of things are in ruins and such. And humanity try to build up the society once again, and they realize they're lacking a lot of manpower because a lot of people has died and such. So they have created these dolls as a solution, which is AI robots. And these dolls are equipped with this mind map, which allows them to think, able to talk like humans, have emotions, feelings, memories, just almost like human-like features. So it is very advanced AI robot kind of setting set in future. These robots mind map, there is facility that kind of studies them, so they gather all this kind of dolls from the world to study them and pay them and such. So they're called 42 Labs, and their project's called the Neural Cloud, so that's where the title comes from. The problem is that something goes pretty bad, of course, and they end up shutting down the facility, and you as a player actually have to dive into that project server to rescue the professor who went missing, as well as the dolls that's trapped in there. So setting is not too complicated. It's something you can definitely enjoy as a newcomer of the series, but as an old player, if you see certain characters from the story, you will definitely enjoy yourself interacting with these characters and seeing the role they play as. So gameplay is pretty unique, I would say. It combines the elements from roguelike modes and combats from auto chess gameplay. So how it works is that you enter stage most of the time, and then you'll see all these different nodes that you can make your choice to go to and make your own journey through the stages. And each time you clear the nodes, you will be rewarded with a certain amount of currency, or sometimes you will get this buff cards, which you can collect to enhance certain types of class or certain types of characters, and able to complete the sets, and it will give you even greater bonuses and make them even stronger and such. And I think this card system works really well. Finishing the sets and getting the 4-piece bonus from this buff cards feels really good, and in fact sometimes they're pretty fancy, and I really enjoyed this progression system. It does take some time to build up, and of course since there's roguelike elements, there is a lot of RNG aspects, and it kind of depends on the luck and such, but overall I think I really enjoy this roguelike elements that was added to this game. There are certain stages that it kind of skips that and straight up goes into combat mode. Those stages, I think they're definitely less appealing since I really love this buff cards, but overall the combat itself is pretty fun as well. So like I said, it's kind of like an auto chess combat. You set your character into certain tiles and such to get a certain amount of buff or different positions and such to tackle down the enemies. And once you enter the battle, you can't really do much before your professor skills, but with your professor skills you can make this dolls move to certain tiles to get some additional buff, or able to heal themselves, or able to reduce their skill cooldown time, or sometimes focus fire on certain types of enemies. There is definitely a lot of different strategy that you can go through. You can definitely auto a lot of this combats, of course. That's the probably most of the gameplay loop you will most likely going through. But early stages, as well as a lot of challenging contents you will go through, you definitely have to make sure to use your professor skills at the right timing to clear the stages. So let's talk about gacha system within your cloud, and there's a lot of things to talk about, so let's go step by step. The first thing I'm going to say is you can expect a lot of similarity from, let's say, Blue Archive. Any of those kind of frag system games is pretty similar. So yeah, the rarity wise, there is 1 to 3 stars. 3 stars is the highest rarity out there, and the rate for the 3-star, which is the most important, is 3.6%. So that is pretty high compared to a lot of other gacha games out there. So that's already plus in my book. They also have a soft pity system, as you can see right there, which is 60 pulls. So if you didn't get any 3-star up to 59 pulls, every 60 pulls it will be guaranteed 3-star. So that is pretty nice. So right now I have 2 pulls there, and if I do 57 pulls, go up to 59 and not get a single 3 stars, at the 60 pull I'm guaranteed to get at least 1 random 3-star. And when you start to move the targeted banner, there's a spark system as well. When you climb up to spark your targeted banner character, you are guaranteed to get at least a couple 3-stars, and those 3-star could be targeted banner character as well if you're lucky. So it's a very good system that exists to make this gacha really forgiving to a lot of other gachas out there. When it comes to pull currency, they have 3 different material basically. This is kind of like the redstone that from Arknights and other games that you can get from just playing the game and farming event stages, all this different your day-to-day loop kind of rewards. That's what you are going to be receiving. This is basically kind of free currency to roll gachas, fill up the stamina, and all these different things. You also have these tickets. Sometimes you can buy these tickets from weekly shop. It's very little amount that's given out, to be honest with you. So most of the time you will get these from purchasing monthly package. So it's almost kind of like a premium currency, but it still exists. They also have this premium currency basically. So this is a stone that you can only get from purchasing things with the real money and stuff. And with the premium currency, you can do kind of discounted pulls is 1 each day, but I don't know. I tried a couple times. I never got anything out of it more than 2 stars. So maybe I'm just having bad luck. But that exists for the premium currency, and that also exists in targeted banner. And they should also have another banner that I can't show right now because it's probably expired. You can use premium currency to get a 3-star guarantee time to time. It will give you just a random 3-star guarantee, but that does not count towards to like a banner in terms of spark wise. So unless you want to play with your RNG and stuff, I don't really recommend it. It's best to just go all in with the targeted banner to get those characters you want, in my opinions. And let's talk about targeted banner system, which is pretty similar to everything we talked about with the additional feature. So this is the targeted banner I have right now, and they feature the new character that you are able to pull and able to spark. Then they have additional 3 stars right here, and those are the character you'll be getting if you don't get the targeted banner character. Spark system also exists, so if you pull each time, you are able to get this 1 point. So as you can see, I pull 106 times, and I just need to pull about 74 more pulls. Then I am able to trade these points to get the character itself and 30 additional fragments, which is pretty nice. So this system exists to make sure after 180 pulls, you are guaranteed to get the character you want. And this point, after the banner runs out, it converted into this currency that you can spend on the shots. But I think it's pretty garbage rates. I mean, come on, if you want to get 1 pull, you need to have 200 points. So that means you need to pull 200 times until you can get 1 gacha ticket. So I don't know. I think it's best to buy maybe this like skill chips, because early on you're going to be liking them. I mean, if you really want, I guess you can save 200 points and get 1 ticket each time. But yeah, it's just better than nothing kind of system. But yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. And this section is some additional thing you can do freely daily pretty much, which is a basic searching. So basically this is like a recruitment system from other games out there. You have chance to get some standard 3-star character. It has a limited pool and such, but there are some good character included in here. So if you're lucky, yes, you are able to get the 3-star. But I've been playing this game for more than a year, and I've maybe seen like 4 or 5 max 3 stars, so that's about it. Most of the time you will get some resources and 1 or 2-star character. Actually, even 2-star characters is not bad because you're able to get the 60 cubes, and this cube you can use to purchase the fragments which you need to limit break your character to 5 stars and beyond, depending when they get mods or not. It's pretty similar system as other game exists, and more you buy it goes up to 25 cubes per fragments. So it is pretty expensive, but overall, this is the kind of your standard system that you see from the other games. But overall, I have 0 issue with the gacha system in this game. I think it's pretty manageable. And the main thing is because the release schedule of these characters are maybe 2 new characters each month for Chinese server, and sometimes 3. But we'll see how things will go for the global server. I hope they don't really accelerate that much, because I think that's why I really like this game as a side game, was because of that reason. But we'll see how things turn out. And lastly, about this section is the power creep kind of aspects, that there are certain characters that's really OP, and I think they're the ones that you really want to go for because they'll make your grind and clearing certain stages really easy. So I have some character that started out that's like really OP and stuff that you really want to aim for in the future when they come out to global server and such. But that'll be for the separate video, and this is a PvE only game at the end of the day, so I don't think it's something you should be worrying about that much in my opinion. And let's talk about some additional monetization system. You have your usual packages that you can buy, of course, to give some additional thing, blah blah here and there. They have them discounted packages, and you can also purchase the furnitures that you can use to decorate your dorms with to get some additional resources, which isn't that much. But the currency you can turn the sand into, it's pretty cheap, and you should be able to get a lot of these pretty easily as well, just from playing the game. But if you're crazy about decoration and stuff, you just have to spend a little bit and you should be able to complete the set, no problem. They also have skins that you can purchase directly from the shops. This range from like $10 to like $30, I think. Don't really know, to be honest. I don't think too much when I buy these skins in the game, but that's how much they cost. And 78 is the most expensive one, and I think that converts into like what, 780, this premium currency. So yeah, skin is kind of locked behind the paywall. There is certain challenge stages does give some points, so you can maybe buy like 1 or 2 skins, but that's about it really. You can it's safe to say the skins are locked behind the paywall, but if you decide to pay, it's definitely not that much, and especially compared to what the Girls Frontline used to be like with the skins, this is definitely way more streamlined, kind of how usual gacha games sells the skins to you in a lot of cases, and you're gonna find yourself be pretty satisfied with the skin most of the time, in my opinion. And they also have a battle pass system where you can buy as well. If you don't buy battle pass system, you have just the basic resources on top of it. But when you actually purchase the premium version, you are able to get the skins as well, which is very nice and cool looking skins. And not to mention, they give tons of different resources, as you can see here. So I definitely recommend you to buy this battle passes, because if you like the skin, it's no-brainer purchase. It's going to give you tons of resources. On top of that, it will give you some nice skins. For example, I have some couple battle pass skins here. I have one for Florence, so she's kind of wearing like yeah. And here's the one for Helix. I really like this one as well. But that is pretty much it for kind of monetization system within this game. Maybe I'm missing out some, but I think I mentioned pretty much every system that exists when it comes to monetization aspects. And this is the character progression sections, and I think my video is going to get too long if I start talking too much. I don't want you guys to hold on for hours, so I'm just going to be briefly mentioning, and more going to be splitting separate videos for character progressions and other stuffs, but just to give you brief ideas about it. So let's jump into video and talk about it. So first of all, to increase their levels, you need XP cards, so it's pretty common from other games. You use this to level up their character levels, and you are able to get from daily dungeons and such. They also have a skill level. It's pretty similar. To get these, you do daily dungeons and stuff, and you're able to level up their character levels, and blah blah blah. It's something very common from many other gacha games out there. From level 7 and beyond, you are going to be requiring the skill books to level up their skills from 7 to 10. This is pretty limited resource to start on, but as later it goes on, you're able to get it from revenge shops and some additional ways. It's definitely going to be more forgiving down the road. It's just really short reach, goes on early on. You just have to deal with. Later down the road though, like I said, you'll be fine. So don't worry about it too much, in my opinion. They also have a limit break system to increase their stars, like many other games out there. And to acquire these frags, there's definitely many different ways to get them compared to other games, in my opinion. First of all, you can use this cubes that you get from the character from the gacha to purchase their fragment from the shop, which is pretty common, and most of the games go with the system. They have additional ways to give you fragments though, because you can go ahead and increase their affinity and you are able to get some additional frag that way, which is pretty nice. You're also able to farm their frags from daily grind dungeons up to 6 times per character. Then you are able to spend rest remaining 4 attempts on other characters and able to farm their fragments that way. So this is going to be making really easy time for a lot of players out there, and you should be able to receive way more fragments compared to whatever other gacha games you've played before. They relies on character fragments to limit break your character. So definitely a huge plus in my opinion from my experience from playing this game for over a year. And that is pretty much it about the character progression when it comes to NeuroCloud. Gear system wise, I will definitely briefly talk about it as well, but this is pretty complex to just explain in this review video. But just kind of think as it's going to be kind of artifact farming from Genshin Impact. It's pretty similar to that. Some aspects better, I think, and some aspects might take longer. We'll see. But like I said, end of the day, this is a PB only game. And this actually doesn't matter that much for a lot of contents exist within this game. So as kind of additional thing you want to push down on the road. So when you actually first start the game next week, it shouldn't matter that much until certain points. So yeah, it's a system that's to talk about in a separate video. I think it's definitely worth to talk about after the game actually releases. So we'll wait until the game actually releases and talk more about the gear system. So let's talk about additional ways to kind of gain some resources within this game. One is Oasis. This is kind of like AFK resources stacking up like every 12 hours or so. You come in and you collect and you are able to get some additional resources like this. So it's pretty nice. You can upgrade this building from playing the game and such down the road. So it's one of those systems that you see from other games. They also have a dorm system, so you are able to get some additional bonuses every few hours or such. It's not that crazy actually. The amount of resources you gain from here is actually pretty small. It's not something you have to worry that much. I think it just exists for the sake of existing. And they also have this kind of strategy overview. Basically, each time you do this kind of infinite mode, you are able to unlock some perks to able to help you aid the battle, and some of these perks are really useful. You're able to get more buff card slots and stuff like that. So as you play the game, you are going to be getting stronger. They also have this thing for the class points, so you are able to additionally increase their stats as you play the game. So basically, it's just one of the system that more and longer you play the game, you are going to be getting some additional points to make your character stronger. Content wise, they have a couple different contents. The first thing is definitely clearing main stages, and you are able to clear the stages and get some nice bonuses and some character fragments here and there, some resources, so all of that. And then they also have a hard mode, so this is kind of like harder version of these stages, and you're also able to get some character fragments for certain 2 or 1-star characters and get some resources as well. Then they have infinite mode, which I think is pretty fun, or endless mode. So you are able to kind of jump in, and these enemies are pretty challenging, and you can see what these other people used to do. You usually start from the first one, 10 meters, and you kind of stack up longer and longer, and you dig down. And each time you clear it, they give this blueprints kind of thing, like I said, to give you more perks and give some gacha tickets as well. So very nice, very nice, and give some XP and stuff. So this is something that will take a long time until you kind of hit onto last stage with the last infinite kind of thing. So it exists. It's fun though, I think. I really like this one. I wish they add more, maybe another 500 meters, we'll see. But that's why I wish they had more main stages, because every time main stages adds, there's actually just tons of new stages to clear and have fun with, in my opinion. Then you have the daily fragment farming stages, of course. Then you have this kind of daily stages. Usually they have 2 times buff, so each time you enter twice in the stages, you are going to be getting additional resources. Now this is event right now, so it will go up to 5 times, so we'll run here, and this is the time you kind of want to take a benefit of down the road. Sometimes early on when you start on, if you like XP, you want to drop all your keys into just 1 XP stages, but down the road you just want to make sure you only use a double amount and then split your stamina into farming other stuffs. But as of right now, like I said, we have 5, but that's down the road. Early on, Early on, people most likely just going to be spamming onto certain stages each time they like the resources. They also have this like a daily kind of stages you can do, and by clearing the stages you are able to get this point, and with this points you can purchase some of the additional resources as well, and they reset daily, so you want to make sure to do them every day. And you can farm Herb Fragment, which is a 3-star tanker, and she is one of the best, if not the best one out there, and she's a free character and you can get her to 5-star without paying a single dime. So you want to make sure get into that and farm her fragments every day. But that is pretty much it for your daily loop, in my opinions. When it comes to event, they have some event stages when each time new character comes out and such. They have some of the seasonal themed events, and they have a shop item and stuff like that. They have a ranking mode for mini games, blah blah blah. They have a lot of different things. I've been actually pretty busy, so I haven't touched the event that much, but event is there. They also have an infinite mode as well. You are able to dig down and challenge yourself and fight your enemies, and like I said, this is the time where you can get some cards here. For weekly content, they have this exception protocol. We'll talk more about it in a separate video because I think it deserves a separate video for this content. But basically every 2 weeks, kind of list of dolls you can use kind of changes out. You can also borrow the dolls and here stuff like that, but this is the point where you can gain these materials to get more gacha materials, and you have these points to once again go from the shop, and the shop has pretty useful items with the currency you can farm from there. So make sure to do that every single 2 weeks and you should be pretty good. So just my final thoughts on Eurocloud, and we'll end the video. So I'm just gonna talk about stuff I really like about this game and my experience from playing this game for over a year within Chinese server. Definitely main thing I love about this game is overall gacha system and character progression wise. There is so many games out there that I played in the past. I played so many different games. Some games might have some generosity when it comes to gacha system, and some games might have a generosity when it comes to character progression levels. And there's definitely not that many games out there that has a generosity like this. Lately I've been also appreciating how this game is very good side game as well. I wish it did have a sweep function, so there is a little bit of quality of life that's lacking, but overall each day's gameplay loop is 15 minutes max, and you maybe log in twice a day, like 12 hours apart, to collect those base, the AFK resource stacking kind of thing, and that is pretty much it. So it's very simple game as well. If you are stressed, if you're busy, you can just log in, just quickly do your dailies, log off, and come back next day and do it again. And if you have time some days, then you sit down, play the events, do some stuff, and you should be good. Another thing I really like from this game is, as veteran of the Girls Frontline 1 series, I really like the overall story elements that was set in this game to be a prequel game. So it is actually refreshing and a little bit different feeling as well compared to Girls Frontline 1. And also creativity you can kind of have with the character design as well as their ability, because they are reside within the Eurocloud mind map. It kind of explores a lot more possibility with the character design and their skill kits and such. I do have to say that comes with a trade-off, because I really do like the military looks of these girls within Girls Frontline 1. Their guns and all these cool things, that's kind of gone. And I definitely would like to have more of that. I didn't really realize how much I missed that kind of aspects and the design from the Girls Frontline 1 until I had her from first anniversary. So I really want to have more of these character design. I just don't want it to be filled with old characters like that, of course. But there is also a lot of things that I wanted to say, and a couple things I had to cut out, which is some of the Chinese contents, and I'm not sure when they'll be arriving to Glover. So those kind of videos I think I'll leave for the future when we learn more about how the Glover server progressions will go as we play through the content updates and such. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching once again. This is Jake. I will see you guys next time with more videos. Thanks for watching. Take care.